that's a once a year payment that we're required to pay to the state on the first page of the regular bills.
Where's that at, Judge?
On the first, on the public advocacy, it's on the first page, about halfway down, $5,430.
I got you.
That's an unusual bill that you wouldn't get but once a year. I want to point that out to you. And then there's, not this pay period, but there's one coming probably for the Division of Forestry. There's a statutory requirement, a small amount of that will be coming shortly probably.
I think we talked about this before, like on the quality of all those glass law enforcement. Windshield was broken, $610.
Quality auto glass.
Have you checked with the insurance company and see if that goes against our claims under comp?
Was this a windshield replacement?
I believe that's the old bill. I'm not 100% sure.
Was it Pinkston? Was the?
He was one of the ones in the three that were replaced.
Okay, I'll have to go back and check. I don't remember.
If it doesn't go against our,
We have $1,000 deductible.
not on glass.
But it depends on if it's a rock that comes up from the highway, then it's covered. But
Or
if it's-
deer.
Or not necessarily. It depends on the particular insurance company on a deer.
I understood that that's under comp.
But I'll check and see.
Yeah.
You asked me that last time. I didn't check.
Okay.
I'll make the motion, pay the bills and additional bills as presented.
Motion been made by Manager Metcalf, second by Bernard Ice. Further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next would be the public library presentation. You guys have a copy of a report that Sharon had sent over to us. And Sharon, you have any comments?
Good morning, Magistrate. Every year, I come in and submit a copy to you of what the Nelson County Public Library Board presents, and this budget this year and tax rate. So this year and I'd like to introduce two of my board members that are here. Bonnie Cecil has been a trustee here with Nelson County Public Library for 3 years? 3, I think. And Robert Cecil, no relation, I suppose, joined the board this year, and we're happy to have him. We adopted the 7.4 cents per $100 tax rate this year, which is, like you, a decrease in tax rate. This was the compensating tax rate. We went down from 7.7 cents last year and from 7.9 cents. And you know how that's calculated. So with the real and personal property increases, we were able to take a lower tax rate this year. Also in your packet, I've included the value of your library, which I do every year. And sometimes you ask me how we calculate that. Lots of people, including people who use the library all the time, don't realize, I apologize, I have a cold. They don't realize all the different services, and just like with a hospital or anywhere else, unless you need that service, you don't know all about it until you come in. But we have offered this year, we break down how many uses of different things, and one of the things that leads the way too is the use of meeting rooms. Across the county, we have in Bloomfield, New Haven, and Bardstown meeting rooms, and we had 3,279 meetings in those rooms. And many of you here have come for trainings, law enforcement, safety, real estate company trainings, CEUs, and all that. As you know, just with your business, the needs of the community change constantly. You've got your facility needs as well as your program needs. And so we're pleased to keep our tax rate at 7.4, both personal and real property this year.
Anybody have any questions for Sharon?
Ms. Shanks, how many employees do you all have?
Altogether, if you do the FTE, it's 29, but 40 bodies, but many of them are part-time.
29?
Yeah, not all of them are full-time people. We have 3 branches and a bookmobile that operate, well, 6 days a week for the branches and 7 days for the main library.
Sharon, I think on the line item talks about property tax. You have a library tax on the real estate and the personal property?
Yeah, and it's the same.
And the distilled spirits tax as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the distilled
Well,
spirits.
we do get some revenue from this, but it's not broken out separate.
But it's in the personal property line item, yes.
And of course, the vehicle tax, which is 1.45, which that's consistent every year.
Any other questions, guys? Thank you so much for the presentation. No court action necessary, just a matter of record. Make sure, Jeanette, we put that in the minutes, please. Okay, next order of business would be the road department report. Number 1 would be the flex funds agreement. You guys have a copy, and media, you have a copy of an agreement with the transportation cabinet to resurface 4 roads, or part of 4 roads. That would be in district number 1, Ballard Lane, and 5, Greens Chapel Road, Milton Brown Lane there, Gary, and Mobley Mill Road. And portions of each of those sometimes. The motion to approve the resolution which authorizes me to sign all the documents related to this approval. This is $132,837. Motion by Gary to approve, second by Jeff. Further discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. I've also placed additional discretionary requests into the state, and they're working on those right now. I hope to report something to you next board meeting.
So Dean, does that mean we can go on and issue POs for these?
No, they gotta get a signed copy back. Oh, that's in the instructions, pretty clear. The state may run out of money before they get to paying those.
That was a lot of instructions too. wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, I'll be quiet. I'll do it. Rest of the road department report.
We continue to replace culverts on county roads that have been approved to be overlaid. This past 2 weeks, we've completed Washington Avenue in District 2. We're replacing one right now on Buck Run Trail. We replaced one on Walter Hall and Hard and Leslie. We're going to be starting on Murray's Run Road and Mobley Mill Road next to get those roads ready to be overlaid. One project we did have, there's a previous slide on Greens Chapel Road. We put the railroad pylons down before. There was some erosion on the shoulder, so we went in and put 12 gabion baskets to shore that up and stabilize that site.
But most of it is surface,
Do what now?
surface erosion.
No, I think what's happened, that's the same place we've had issues. If you guys remember, we got money from the state to do it. We put the pylons in, the cribbing. I think water is getting underneath the road, and what happened is it washed out dirt below the cribbing, and it was allowing the rock to want to fall out from behind it.
Okay.
So what we had to do is go on the backside. We did the exact same thing on Murphy's Lane, we just didn't do it on Green Chapel.
Yeah.
Oh, did you do that on Murphy?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
That was a big project.
Big project.
Is it back, it's still kind of sliding back, is it,
Where?
at the end of Murphy?
Murphy, good.
Okay.
This is Green Chapel.
Right.
And I
I
think
just
we
had a
have-
call on that, just for the reason I was asking that.
Might take it out.
Okay. That's news to me. Okay. It was a good project. We hopefully this is shored up where that dirt doesn't keep falling out. from Murphy.
Right, I appreciate
So
it.
we're at on Murphy? We'll talk after.
Yeah.
We'll talk after.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, it's Murphy Lane,
Okay.
not Murphy. Yeah, it's Murphy Lane. I'll
We'll talk
you
afterwards.
Go ahead and leave it, Chris, report.
The oil distributor, the engine has been replaced, and we're starting back on patching asphalt today. We're going to go on Shady Lane, patching area over that large culvert. We've completed nearly 3 rounds of mowing of the county roads. This abnormally dry time has kind of slowed the growing of the vegetation, but we do still have guys out there mowing to keep ahead of that. And last 2 weeks, we tried out the radar sign that the county purchased, and we started on Plum Run Road. I'll just give y'all.
Wait for those in the audience. We purchased one of these radar signs that has, will tell you if you're going over the speed limit, and it will calculate how fast people are going over the speed limit. You've seen those in Lexington and other places. So we're experimenting with one right here. It's about $3,000 or so I think, one of these. Thank you. Good.
Basically, we start with Plum Run Road, a little bit of history. Plum Run Road has the highest rate of collisions on county-maintained roads in Nelson County. So we figured that'd be a good place to start. Although Plum Run Road's about 8.4 miles, most of the collisions happen within the first 2.5 miles between Louisville Road and Stoner Road. That's about where a good majority of the collisions
Your
happen.
source of your collision was that?
That was let me go back. There's several tools available to local county agencies. You can go to Kentucky. There's a collision data site for Kentucky, and you can go in there and basically go to Nelson County, go to county maintained roads or any road that you want.
Yeah.
And it shows the list of collisions over probably the past 15 years or so.
And that's just the reported ones.
That's reported. Yes, correct.
That's just the reported ones.
And Plum Run Road over the last 10 years had 65 collisions. 51 of those were property damage, 14 were injury accidents. And again, 39 collisions happened in that first 2.5 miles. So figured that'd be a good place to put that sign to get a little data. And what we found is that in that area, and it was, we put the sign between Benelli Drive and Copperfields. There's a good little straight stretch right there. We was averaging probably about 2,600 vehicles going through there a day. And at the posted speed limit is 35, there's 85% violating the speed limit. And the average speed is about 45 miles per hour. Peak speed was, of course, 74 miles per hour. So we had some speed demons going through there. The 85th percentile is 52 miles per hour. And again, I submitted this report. It's a good, it gives you a good idea of what this software can do. And above all, the sign it gives us a bunch of good data that, as far as traffic counts. It's portable. You can just mount it on a signpost. If our guys are doing some work on, let's say, Plum Run or Potter Shop, you can even mount the sign to the hitch of one of our trucks and just kind of give people, hey, we're doing work here, slow down, this is your speed.
It helps me when I see one somewhere, just
Yeah.
remind me.
Yeah, so just take some time and read that over. And
The report, good work.
I think that'll be an asset to the sheriff's department also. They can take this report and see what time when those speeders are, and they can have a deputy down there to watch that. So, good report.
The sign's been they've done statistics on these signs, and it has been shown to reduce speeds quite a bit. We've only had this sign going for about a little bit over a week, and I pulled it up on Fridays and stuff to collect data. So just within that week, you'll see that you're starting off like we had 94% speeders, and then it started going down to about around 88, 89%. So even that little short span does show people start slowing down some.
Very good, very good. That it, Lee?
Yes, sir.
Good job. Okay, Brad, do you have anything else on the road? Okay, we'll go to the...
I have one
Yes,
thing.
yes. Uh-huh.
We spoke about this before on Woodlawn Road 605. Might remind the state to put the sealant in those curves again, make sure they don't forget.
Only thing I can say is it's been requested.
Been requested.
I mean, directly to the folks that are over it. It was not part of the original contract, and we called and requested for it to be applied. Now, whether they decide funding's available or not, said you gotta go to a different funding source like safety and whatnot, I don't know all the funding. But it was not included in the first project.
Okay, well, I requested the day the state came, I requested that to be in the bid, so I don't know if they had it in or not.
That did not have to be.
They did not have it in the bid.
What are you talking about here?
It's a surface.
Skidding, when you go around a curve in wet road conditions. When I owned the towing service, we worked a wreck there every couple of days when it rained.
What do they call that?
After they put that sealant.
Yeah.
After they put that sealant on there.
Surface.
It cut
It keeps the people from sliding. A couple little, there by Woodlawn Springs Golf Course, and a few other places on that road.
It works.
It works. It does work.
There's
It does
a
work.
really bad spot on Taylorsville Road that could use
So
that.
Gary, the only thing I can tell you is we've requested
Okay.
it. Now, whether it happens is above us. I think.
It will, I'm satisfied it will happen, just a matter of getting the right program to make it work.
Okay.
It was
Sounds good.
right?
Yeah,
It was there.
What do they base that on? Crash down?
So were the center line
Where they put
reflectors.
that?
And it's,
They were there.
it's been trying to reduce inflation.
That's one of my pet peeves, Jimmy.
Over 90%, like it'll reduce 90%.
Really?
It will.
It's pretty neat.
It's basically sandpaper.
And how do you make a request for that? Because there is a place on Taylorsville Road.
Okay.
Get in line.
Let's get with guardrail first. Five, no.
We're used to taking a back seat in District 5.
All Sanders.
Wait, Gary.
All Sanders. Eric, all Sanders.
All right.
That was my number one thing.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. EMS report. Y'all your list is getting too long. Good job.
In April, the EMS committee, Gary and Keith and the judge met on projected equipment needs, 4-year projection. 2 weeks ago, we demonstrated some of that equipment. I've been able to find the CPR device, Lucas CPR device, in refurbished condition with the same warranty for a 35% discount. So I have a PO for 4 of the 5 that we approved, that I submitted to the judge. He wanted to bring it to court.
The court approved the budget with the line item in there for equipment, so that's what, you know, not specific at that time for this, but it falls into that category.
Yeah, it was part of the equipment list that we
Was
talked
it?
about,
Okay,
that
I
those
can't
total
remember that far
dollars
back, though.
would be used for. So I have a PO for 4 of those that I would ask the court to approve, and a PO for 1 of the video laryngoscopes that we demonstrated. We were able to get free through some horse trading, so we would only be using budget money for 1 of those.
Well, the 4 of the CPR devices is $35,021.
Why don't we only get 4 when you need 5?
We'll come back later and
We've done it for
refurbish.
our lifts, we do, as the money becomes available. Remember, the ambulance service is having a struggle with the payroll dollars. You know, we're about $700,000 in the hole on payroll. And we're trying to spend money.
On every day.
Just like your household truck,
That's what we
just like your household.
Smart management, I appreciate you doing the extra legwork to save it, really.
We try.
Need a motion to approve that request.
Make a motion.
Motion by Gary, second by Keith. Any further discussion? All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion carries. I just hope we don't have to use any of those on us. For those that weren't here last court meeting, the EMS did a great demonstration on the use of that new equipment and the ability to pump CPR without using your hands.
Free up a set of hands.
Yeah. What else, Joe?
That's it for me.
Okay. Recreation report, Bryce?
September 7th, Saturday, Reagan Boys Foundation will be having a 5K at the park. Girls basketball meeting August 27th with the ADs, with the first game will probably be around the first weekend of October. Nelson County Youth Soccer had their first weekend of games. Football has been practicing out at the park, and they will have their first game September 7th. And for the brick wall, we're looking to start around mid-September.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
It's not on recreation. Let's go back to Joe. Are the runs up or is it about the same?
They're trending about the same as last month, still down from 2016.
Thank you.
That was a good year. Well, most of your revenue, when I say that, most of your revenue is generated by non-emergency runs. Medicare. Which means somebody's going to the doctor or hospital for a test. So I didn't mean to sound like I'm looking forward to people getting hurt.
Yeah, like you wanted it to happen.
Undertaker. Jail report. I better move on here, Buck.
As of today, we have 120 inmates in jail. 57 are state, 63 are county, 30 are circuit court, 33 are district court. There's a total of 101 males and a total of 19 females.
That's down a little bit, things up. Yeah. That's a good thing.
It can go up.
To a point.
Right.
Thank you. Any questions? Landfill solid waste report?
Quick reminder, our Labor Day schedule will be off work Monday, so we'll be a day behind that week. And other than that, just taking advantage of the dry weather to get cover material hauled before the winter wet months. Other than that, just normal operations.
Okay.
Did you get your tipper installed?
Yes, no, not yet. We got the stuff in for it yet, but they're gonna finish up with the dozer right now and putting that back together, get that stuff serviced, and probably in the next week or two.
One more thing. The roll-offs. Do you have several roll-offs, or are they all usually rented out?
Basically, they're pretty much spread out.
Okay.
We got a wait list.
We bought-
Probably most of the time. We bought some this year, some
8 or
last
10
year.
of them last year, so probably need to consider adding a few more because I'm getting some calls. What we're doing is trying to turn them and bring them in. When somebody's not using them, you contact them. Most of the time they're fine with moving them as long as you bring them back. We got about 120 or so.
120.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked is an accident and the towing service needed several of those roll-off dumpsters, and apparently they weren't available, so they had to go to Danville and get them.
Yeah.
You know anything about that?
It's not unusual.
It's not, yes.
Is there a after hours number they call for those? Not?
Not for us. No, waste management might be.
Yeah, I'm talking about Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, how many drivers you have? Two?
We have 2 drivers.
2 drivers full, just constantly turning them?
Constantly nonstop work.
And our factories are a priority, generally speaking, and then we work the other runs in between. Those things are about $5,000, $5,500 a piece times 120, so you're looking at a lot of money invested. But we all look at maybe getting some more of them probably.
I just hate to lose that revenue, that the towing service could use them, if we had some set aside just for emergencies. Even, you know, when you replace them.
So I play devil's advocate, why don't the towing service have them sit aside? Because it costs a lot of money just to sit there.
That's true.
$5,000. $5,000 if you're not constantly turning them. But John, let's do an inventory, bring it to the next court meeting, we'll look at it. You know, we've thought several, we've added a few, we probably need to add a few more as we continue to grow.
And what you'll find, John will speak up, but I will, is he only has, his 2 guys can just barely keep up now. And what we have to do, sometimes we'll supplement somebody out there to help him, or he'll have to shut something down to keep up with that demand. So we're getting to that borderline point of, do you hire somebody, do you not, what do you do with it?
And we service a few people in Marion County.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's big
really,
runs. That takes a lot of time.
And
By the
that's part
time
of it
we-
though. I mean, that's part of being in
They're part of
business.
our customers, you see.
I'm just looking on the revenue side.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Thank you for bringing it up. Under old or new, anybody have anything else about the old new business? Yeah.
Just old business, but go ahead.
To report under, this is more new business, go, you got old business, go first.
Just want to know what the update, the status of the Explorers are for the sheriff.
The last time I talked to Nick Eaton was that they would be in our hands late October, early November.
And
There's supposed to be a VIN number issued to them in early September for making the machines. That's all verbal.
And that was as of when?
A couple weeks ago. I haven't talked to him since the last meeting. No, but I will give you an update.
Okay.
Okay. Under new business for the public's view, out to the Nelson County Justice Center, there's some old farm equipment sitting there. I've got a lot of phone calls the last day or so, day and a half, 2 days. Judge Sims has ordered a sale of some, I guess for lack of a better set, repossessed or a sale to pay off a debt of someone. And so if you see 6 old combines in the front of the Justice Center, that's what's going on there. It's an ordered sale by Judge Sims. That's, I've got some people tickled. I had a few people comment that we're getting into the farming business, but that's, I don't think any of those machines will run. They had to haul them in on a road, on a Suburban wrecker on a tow road bikes.
They probably won't pay the toll bill.
Guys, you have anything else before I, Jeff, you got anything? No. But Mr. Thrasher wants to, yes, Chance?
Just a reminder, we have a census workshop today at 10:30. So if you can hang around.
It'll be here, right?
Folks will be here and talking about the importance of the 2020 and what it does for our community and how we need to get people involved in the census. So if you can stay around at 10:30, it'll take about an hour.
We'll give you at least a half an hour.
Thank you.
I've heard some of this stuff.
I've already heard it too, so, but it is a good presentation and hopefully we can get everybody counted in Nelson County.
Don, go ahead.
So, a couple months ago, one of the members of the so-called squad, this Ilhan Omar, she's a congresswoman from Minnesota. She was a Somali refugee. She is vehemently anti-American, and she had, one of the city councils in her district actually met 2 weeks after meeting with her, and they voted to cease doing the Pledge of Allegiance at their city council meetings, which they had always done. And about 2 weeks after that meeting, after they voted to eliminate the Pledge of Allegiance, there was such an uproar from the people in that community that they have now voted to put it back into place. I think as a unifying thing, we have the flag and the Pledge of Allegiance, and for people to say that our pledge and our flag is divisive is very problematic for me, and it should be for everybody else, because that's the two things that should be bringing us together and unifying us the most. When you have anti-American people that don't care about the flag, don't care about the Pledge of Allegiance, what it represents, what that tells me is that we are moving in a wrong direction. And one of the things I had wanted to do during the campaign last year, if I had won, was to start saying the Pledge of Allegiance here at the fiscal court meetings. Because our surrounding counties, Bullitt County, Spencer County, Washington, they say the pledge before their fiscal court meetings. In fact, some of them say prayer. I think it's really important for us, before our elected officials make decisions on our liberty and our justice, to pledge with liberty and justice for all. Because you know what? It's a reminder, before you make those votes on our liberty and our justice, it's important. Our flag is important. Our country is important. And you know, we have this underlying element of people that are trying to subvert our history, subvert our patriotism, and it's wrong. And I think I've given most of you guys the proposed ordinance, but I'm proposing that we pass an ordinance requiring, an ordinance establishing a requirement that Nelson County Fiscal Court meetings be open with the Pledge of Allegiance. Basically states, whereas the U.S. flag and Pledge of Allegiance are unifying symbols of this great country, and we, the elected officials of Nelson County Fiscal Court, desire to express the Pledge of Allegiance at the opening of our meetings, be it ordained, hereinafter all Nelson County Fiscal Court meetings will open with the Pledge of Allegiance. It's very simple. It's a unifier. It's not divisive. Anyone that thinks it's divisive, I think they should really look at how they view this country. Because if we can't agree on anything else, if we can't agree on what to do with politics, on who should be president, who should be congressperson, at least we should be able to unify for that flag and unify for what that flag and the Pledge of Allegiance stands for. So I'd appreciate you guys passing this ordinance, which you all have. Dean, I don't think I gave you one, but I would appreciate you guys doing it. I think the majority of the citizens in this county would appreciate you guys passing it. Every time I've seen it. And it's for your consideration. Thank you. Thank you. Comments?
I can see where he's kind of coming from here, I guess, just a little bit. I'll tell you, I attend Fairfield City Council meetings, and I attend Bloomfield City Council meetings. Bloomfield City Council meetings, they stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's all good, but I feel like it's, you know, I just feel like it's, I don't have to reaffirm my vows to my wife every morning. When we come in here, I feel like we're doing the county's business. And I think when each one of these guys stood up here and took an oath of their office, they pledged allegiance to that flag. I don't feel like I have to pledge my allegiance to the flag every day, because my heart and my past, my history shows that. Just for example, how many people in here is a veteran? There we go, Raymond Penrose. Okay. Anybody Boy Scout? Boy Scout? Eagle Scout? Boy Scout leader? Right there, Wade Hibbs was one of my Boy Scout leaders. Mentored me to become an Eagle Scout. I served my country for 4 years. I served over in Desert Storm. I've been sent overseas to Germany. And I appreciate this flag. I appreciate what it stands for. But I know each and every one of these guys is very patriotic. I don't feel like there's an issue myself about any of its patriotism. So the fact that you would bring this into the court is a little bit offensive to me. So I just want to put that out there. It makes me think you're questioning my patriotism, which I take offense to.
Well, I like how you turned it around on that.
I ain't turning nothing
Well, that's
around.
exactly what you're doing.
No, I'm not turning anything around, Don.
It's like saying the Star Spangled Banner at the beginning of every football game. Why do you...
Don, how many meetings do you attend up here? How many meetings do you even attend up here? How many times you come up here? Why do you want to bring this into fiscal court when we're trying to conduct the business of the people?
Why have the Star Spangled Banner for every football game, Eric?
You tell me. You tell me. Does it make you feel more American?
It represents what this nation is about.
Guys, if you guys would move forward, if you guys are going to pass this or not, we're not here to get into a...
I didn't know how long it was going to go, but everybody, Eric, I appreciate your comments. I'm not going to politicize.
And that's what it is.
Pledge allegiance for the anthem.
This country is at risk. This country is at risk of losing our patriotism, losing what we stand for as a nation.
You can have this outside, Don. You can have these discussions outside.
That's our unifier.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
We're going to have order
outside.
here. Yeah. Please. Yes, Jim. Yeah.
Actually, what would be wrong with saying the pledge of allegiance? I know that we know it, we're a different generation, but we do need to pass our values down to the next generation. Just because you know it, I know it, doesn't mean that our children know it. So please think about that when you make that decision.
Well, you know,
it's not all about us. It's about passing it on to the next generation.
Good point.
Fiscal court is a business meeting. And I looked back at the history of the county judges back to Charlie Roberts' day in the 70s. And none of the previous courts have said the Pledge of Allegiance doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it right. And this court, I think, like Eric put it, there's nobody here not showing any allegiance to the country. And to have a political view bring to the court their desire to put the politics into our court meetings, I just don't like it. We're not going to stand for it. Any other questions, comments? I'm going to adjourn this meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by
Yeah,
Bernard
real
Rice.
quick,
Just a second, Raymond, just a second. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, now.
I want to commend Maine's for me just having a conversation with you, reference the loading dock over at the sheriff's office. They came, cleaned it up. I thought it was going to be later down the road that same day. Russell and the guys from the jail came over, they cleaned it up. The fire department came, hosted down. If you guys drive by there, it looks 200% better.
Well, thanks for bringing my attention.
And I appreciate the guys coming in so quickly to take care of that for us.
All approved, motion to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Disapproved, motion carries. Thank you all.
You better step up and play school, buddy. You beat the way right now.
You're the
Because
one
I'm
that
gonna tell you
talked about
something,
it.
you question my faith.
I did.
You stepping on the
I do.
You can question my.
I do
You can question it if you want to.
I do question your attitude.
Well, that's an insult to me, that's an insult to my
You have to
service.
live with it. You know what, I question your patriotism.
You need to take it somewhere else.
You need to take it somewhere else.
Okay, yeah, please do that.
I'm sure those 55 voters that you barely won by would really appreciate it now, brother. 'Cause I'll tell you right now.
Hey, Don. This is no better.
Nobody wins when you shout. You can have different point of view. Yeah. Me and Hardhead disagree pretty regularly.
Good day. No, I ain't messing with theirs.
I do, always know.